This is my passion. This is Ike's Outdoors. Hey guys, Ike here from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm sitting here in the middle of one of my food plots. You can see this thing is not very big. I don't know how much the camera shows, but this thing is, maybe 12 by 20, or maybe a little bit bigger than that, 12 by 30, something like that. And it's June, so I got this thing planted late, but we've had a pretty good luck as far as getting rain. And what I used in this food plot is this stuff right here, which is Imperial Clover Alpha Rack Plus. And what this has got in it, it's got alfalfa, chicory, and clover. And this stuff is specially made to be grown in rocky areas like this. And what I did was I came out and I brought me a weed scythe, just a handheld weed scythe, which I'll put a picture of in here, and cleared this area out with it. And then you can see the stumps of the trees I cut out for the trees that were in here, and then just took a rake and took all the leaves and stuff like that back out of here and just cleared it out. And then went through and just hand-picked all of these roots. You know, all these roots that were in here, just went through and hand-picked them. And with this stuff, it was pretty easy. I got me a spreader, took my spreader out and spread everything out here. And it said to put it on the lowest setting possible, but I'm doing such a small plot, I got plenty of the stuff. So I went ahead and set it on a higher setting and really spread it out pretty thick. And yeah, I'm sending this stuff, but it ain't gonna hurt it now. It'll bounce back pretty well. And spread it out pretty thick. And this is literally a week later, and you can see all this greenery that I've got growing in here already in just a week. Now, granted, we've been fortunate and had a little bit of rain in that time. The ideal time for us here in Missouri is to plant this about in April. And the nice thing about the back of this thing here is it has a zone map, and it shows you exactly when and where you're supposed to plant it. I got ticks all over me, but so it gives a nice time of when you're supposed to plant it. So far I'm pretty happy with this thing, with this Imperial Clover Alpha Rack Plus. It looks really good. And another thing I did, which you probably can't see it over here, was I took that weed scythe, and you can see, I know you can see the background here, this place is just thick. I mean, just so thick you can't even hardly walk through it. So I took that weed scythe and I made, and it sucked, it took a lot of work, but I took and made a trail all the way to the back side of this place. I made a trail across this place, and I made a trail on the other side of this place. This is basically two ridges, and in the middle we've got a bedding area. Just the bottom of the valley is so thick they bed down in there. So I went through and cut two big trails in here. I mean, I just took the scythe and just went through and just cut them as wide as I could cut them in one swing, and made them, of course, where they connect to this food plot, and then back to the back. And I got another food plot about this size on the other side of this thing on top of the ridge. So that's going to give our deer, instead of having to walk through all this jumbled up mess, these briars and stuff like that, gives them a nice good trail that they can walk along. And it's going to give them a nice direct route to my food plot. And the other thing that I did was, a buddy of mine's got a house right up here, and I could actually see his yard from here. We're out in the country, kind of off the beaten path. I took that weed scythe and I cut me a trail from his yard to here. So I don't have to come in and fight the briars and stuff either. I can actually come in and don't have to walk the deer trail. I got my own trail, and I don't think the deer, they may use it because they may go over to his yard. He's got a garden and grass in his backyard, but it gives me a trail to walk to and from my tree stand, which I'm going to put a tree stand in here somewhere, probably on this side of the food plot, so I don't have to walk across it or around it. But that'll give me the advantage of having a trail in here that I don't have to walk on the deer's food plot, or the deer's around this food plot. So the main message I want to get through on this video is, even in the middle of summer, you need to be out here managing your deer population. It's a good time to be out here. It sucks because it's hot and there's ticks and things like that, but it's a good time to be out here doing things like putting your food plots out, getting your mineral out, getting your tree stands hung, and getting these trails cut. And now with these trails cut, these deer are lazy. They're going to start using those trails that I cut, and they're going to use them, you know, I hope they use them quite a bit. So now I've got a trail camera right over here. I can start getting cameras or pictures of what's using this food plot. I can start getting pictures of which deer way they're headed, you know, and what's actually coming and using these trails. And hopefully before too long it'll turn into a highway. And I can really start patterning the deer real well on this trail that I've cut. So a lot of work to it and a lot of labor, I put this thing in all by hand. I put my food plot, my trails in all by hand, and it took a lot of work, but it's going to pay off when it comes deer season. And check out this Imperial Clover. Really impressed with this stuff after a week. Both these food plots look great. So check this stuff out. I think you'll be very happy with it. Find the right product for your area. And I also added some wheat and some oats to this too. So really good with everything else that's got in it. Some wheat, some oats, just for some extra stuff. So get out there in the summertime, cut you some trails, get your tree stands hung up, get you some food plots in, and I think it'll pay off for you in the fall. Always does for me, and it really helps me harvest more deer, and it's going to help you with healthier deer. Bigger racks, bigger bodies, healthier deer to provide bigger and better fawns. So it's also going to help with that aspect of it. So for more product reviews, how-to videos, check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com. Appreciate you guys watching.